January is all about setting goals, right? And then we hear you should set big, giant, what's big, hairy, audacious goals, the BHAGs. Some people say set realistic goals. Let me just tell you, what you need to think about before you set goal number one, friends, is what matters to you. I mean, honestly, if you think you're setting a goal of running a marathon, but you do not like to run, that goal doesn't make any sense, realistic or not. So what I want you to think about is what actually matters to you. I had a really great conversation with one of my coaching clients a couple of weeks ago, and she was realizing in this medium space that we find ourselves in life that there was not much depth to her soul beyond real estate because she'd been doing this stuff nonstop every day and hadn't had a minute to breathe. But she's got so much talent and love and empathy in there. She just had to find something new to do with it. So we talked a little bit about what she might enjoy doing that's not her professional life. And I told her, do not call it hobbies, because one thing that gets in the way of setting goals is that we diminish some of our goals. And friends, if you start calling your fun things that are not work hobbies, it's really easy for you to just say it's not that important. But the things that we do that give us depth and give us a chance to be creative and learn and grow, they're really important. So I just want you to create two lists. You've got your revenue producing activities. So the goals associated with your business revenue are one set of goals. And then you've got your NR activities, your non-revenue producing activities. And they're not wrong just because they don't produce revenue. So maybe for you, that's you want to be like Leigh Brown and get some chickens in the backyard. Or maybe you want to learn how to sew. Maybe you want to go learn how to play pickleball. It's all the rage. Anything can matter if it matters to you. So I want you to get really specific when you're setting these goals and take out this idea that it has to be somebody else's plan. Because in real estate, when we look at goals, too many brokers, including myself in the past, start with transactions and we start with GCI, gross commission incomes, and we start with money. But y'all, a life that starts with money ends with nothing. How about you put that lower on your list and start with something that should have a little more impact? Maybe those goals will include time with your loved ones. That could be kids, grandkids, godchildren, nephews, the person you're sleeping with. Whoever it is that matters to you as a human should be on your goal list. So if you really want to set goals that you will go chase down, start with putting some humans in there that are worth chasing. And now that I say it, that sounds like this is a dating app, and it's not. It's not, friends. Okay, anyway, next question. Okay. And by the way, now that you're thinking, holy smokes, Leigh Brown, which app should I use? I will tell you, a good friend of mine found him a very nice man on some sugar daddy app. And then one of my dear friends who has been widowed for a long time found her a nice man on our time. I frankly love your stories, but if you have a question to ask, drop it in the comments or the DMs now that you're all horrified and off track. Okay, you're welcome. Next question. Leigh Brown, I'm thinking about needing an accountability partner to help me stay on track. Do you have one, or how do you stay on track? Look, I know I need accountability partners because I'm a terrible one. Now, why am I a terrible one? Because I don't listen to me. As an entrepreneur, as somebody who's running a business, I am terrible at managing me. Now, I can manage you. I can manage my clients. I can manage my business. But as far as Leigh Brown goes, Leigh Brown is not good at managing Leigh Brown. She needs somebody else. Now, often, because as an introvert, I get tired of people, and because I do run an insanely busy schedule, paper helps me a ton, and that's why I use the simplified planner. And y'all, she did not pay me to talk about this planner. She should, though. Emily, Leigh, whoever you are, if you're real, I need a discount code or some free stuff or something. But what keeps me accountable too is the reason I like this planner. At the beginning of each month is the whole month, and then I have each week broken down. And so for me, one of the things that I am actually good with accountability on is my running. So at the beginning of each month, I'll put down the mileage I would like to achieve. And then each day I write down how many miles I ran so that I can keep an eye on it. I also use social networks such as Strava so that I do have some accountability. And that one's not even about having a specific somebody. It's because I will open the app up, y'all, and if I see that all my friends got their runs and bikes and swims and weightlifting in, I personally feel guilted enough to say, oh, fine, and then I'll go do it. because I am a self-driver, all joking aside. Now, for most of y'all, the amount of self-drive that you have is all over the place. Accountability partners don't have to be in your same field, for one. They do have to be bold enough to tell you to get up off the couch and go get something done, because if you pick the accountability partner that lets you slide, that's not really going to help you with anything. I was in a class just a few weeks ago, and I told those people in the class to pick somebody as an accountability partner. And sadly, a lot of them looked around and didn't know anyone well enough to ask. Well, what better way to get to know somebody than by leaning over to that stranger and saying, hey friends, if I text you in the morning, will you text me back, and then I'll get something done, and then you'll get something done? Because a perfect accountability partner relationship is a two-way street. It's very similar to the mentor-mentee relationship. You better bring something to the table. So perhaps you're the one that says, my goal is to make one phone call a day at 8 a.m. What's your goal? And the other person says, my goal is to not work after 7 p.m. Great, now you've set some parameters of what you want to chase. Check in with each other. I will tell you, it's game-changing, not just because you'll hit your goals, but because you'll deepen a relationship, hopefully with somebody that you respect and revere, and that relationship should matter enough to hold you accountable to their needs as much as they're holding account to yours. All right. Here's our third question. What's your New Year's resolution, Leigh? I don't have one. I don't set resolutions. I don't really find January to be that thrilling of a month. I know that's wildly unsettling to many of y'all who are like, it's 2023, it's amazing. Well, the good thing about 2023, if you did not know, Michael Jordan, who is the GOAT, and any of you who like LeBron can just stay out of my ats and my mentions because you're wrong. Michael Jordan was from Wilmington, North Carolina. Hey, North Carolina. And his number, 23. What year is this? 23. So I don't need January 23 to give me a resolution, because I frankly live in the best state ever and we have lots of great things going on. But honestly, the reason I don't set resolutions is that those don't become habits very easily. You should know that to create a new habit, you have to do it for 21 straight days. And I have yet to see anybody in the gym where I belong on January 1st who was also there on January 31st who wasn't there in December the month before. Those of us that come at 5 a.m., we know each other because we're there all the time. We get irritated in January because the new people show up and they hog the machines and they're slow and they don't use the spray bottles. You know how it goes. But we also have this feeling of rest, knowing that in just a short time, they will stop showing back up. So I would challenge you that instead of thinking January is going to contain some magic sauce or some magic pill that's going to fix your life just because the calendar changed, why don't you just go back to point number 1 we had today about setting those goals, figure out something that matters to you, and dial in whether you stumbled across this video in January or July or October. It really shouldn't matter, because if you want something to get better, just start it now. And then speaking of those goals, what are my goals? I hope to attract 5 new agents to my tiny independent boutique brokerage in Concord, North Carolina. That is one of my goals, but it's not a resolution. I'm not resolved to find them, because that might get me to recruit the wrong person. I have a goal of finding 5 people with the right mentality and discipline and culture mindset. That would be a benefit. And if I find 4, that's still a win. Now, I'll also tell you that one of my goals is to not grow out of my clothes. I want to make sure that I am staying fit. I'm being reasonable about what goes in my mouth so that I don't have to go shopping when I don't like to go shopping. Any of y'all feel me on that? I don't mind going to buy something when I need it, but I despise rolling through store after store. But I will. I'm a Target kind of shopper, not the Target type, but I mean, I love White House Black Market and I love Marshall's. And so if I'm near an outlet center, I will find my store, cruise in and get there. And because that's not fun, I don't want to buy new clothes. And that was a long rabbit hole, but welcome to my video series here. One of my other goals for this year has to do with my team. One of my goals is to watch all of my team members hit their goals. That means I have to be dialed in as far as providing up-to-date training, that I am available enough to answer their questions, but that they are empowered enough to go out there and do great things and bring a level of excellence to the reputation of my firm. And that means if I'm supporting them in the background, they're going to make my firm look better than I could ever by myself. And so that's what Leigh Brown's got. I would love to know what you're setting for your goals. And how about we just kind of wipe out this resolution idea for a minute? Unless you're willing to discipline yourself to make it real, that's not going to be your place, y'all. Decide that you're going to be that buffalo. You're going to drive through and make something happen. Write it down here. And by the way, if you don't have an accountability partner, read the comments and see if you can't find a good soul who agrees with you hanging out over here on YouTube with Leigh Brown.